Danger, danger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 88 of the TEW 288 Challenge Run. We are here at the final stop of the year 2020 for Monday Night Raw, their Raw branded High Voltage 2020 pay-per-view. Without any further ado, let's just jump straight into the show.
Danger, danger! High voltage!
We start on the kickoff show, this mini feud that's got quite heated over the broken Misc TV set. And the Viking Raiders, they've won their freedom from law, whatever their lawsuit was. They beat Miz and Morrison here on the kickoff show, 11:55. Eric pins the Miz with a Viking experience. 55 for both the Vikings, 64 for the Miz, and a 70 for John Morrison. And they're both doing very bad. I'm assuming they're both on decline. Miz is, John Morrison's not. Okay, fair enough. We then open the show with a video package, hyping up the biggest matches of the show. The WWE Championship main event, Seth Rollins and Randy Orton finally one-on-one. Liv Morgan and Io survive for the Raw Women's title. Can EO2 belts become a thing? Only time will tell. Aleister Black, Drew McIntyre, Purge rules. Anything goes, two psychopaths. And John Cena vs R-Truth. Because why would we not advertise that absolutely bizarre match is happening? Opening match, though, gets an 82, fucking hell. IC title on the line. Johnny Gargano, the challenger, looking to win his gold back from the champion Otis. And the match goes 14 minutes and 36 seconds. Gargano said he knows that this is for the Church of Rollins. He knows Seth's going to get the job done in the main event. So if he needs to win, he's going to have to do it the Johnny Gargano way. And apparently the Johnny Gargano way is to bring out his wife, both members of AOP, and also Damian Priest to help him. And Otis, he does the thing where he charges around the ring that Braun Strowman does, but we do it with Otis because people actually like him. And both members of AOP go flying into the barricade. Otis takes them out. There'll even be some sort of bump where Candice hits on the apron and Johnny accidentally, goes to hit Otis and he ducks and Candice takes the bump, but she's also wiped out. But unfortunately for Otis, there's one more man there, and that's Damian Priest, who hits the beautiful big spinning kick while the referee's checking on Candice LeRae. And then Gargano hits the one final beat DDT to win back the Intercontinental Championship for the Church of Rollins, making him a two-time Intercontinental Champion. A 79 for Otis and an 85 for Johnny. Fucking very good match to open this show, believe it or not, with these two scoring 79 and 85. Wow. 75 rated match. I said this is a high spots match because I figured the crowd would be quite hot after the opening match. Not this hot, because I didn't know the match would be that good. But Cedric beats Ricochet by cheating because of Dio Madden. To get Prime Alexander a big win here on pay-per-view. Ricochet gets a 72 and a 58 for Cedric. And yeah, the match gets a 75, which overachieved. And I would say that breaking up the tag team and the feud here, the heel turn for Cedric, has done wonders for both men. Because they're now on pay-per-view scoring 75s. Which, yeah, you absolutely take those, and you cannot absolutely turn your nose up at that, because that is a very decent rating for two, I believe they're both well-known wrestlers. We then cut backstage. We see a recap of the first match. Johnny Gargano celebrating having his IC title. And he's with Candice, Priest, and AOP, and he walks into the church locker room, where only Murphy and Ruby are in there. And he's like, I did it. Where's Seth? We need to show him that this thing is all still once systems go. Murphy's like, you can't see the champ. The champ's getting ready for his main event match. And I've been tasked with the privilege of being the man to accompany him to the ringside tonight, because we need to make sure this gets done. We saw how much work we could do together when Priest helped you win over Otis, because no offense, Johnny, you were going to lose. And Johnny sort of turns his nose up. He's like, oh no, I wouldn't have lost, but oh well, I get your point. And Ruby, we saw what happened to Candice out there. She only took a kick because we weren't paying attention. We don't want you getting in harm's way either. So And AOP, Priest, you've done your work. You may as well rest. I'll be the one to go out there and help Seth Rollins retain. Because this we can't let Randy Orton crumble this whole thing down. We are the church, and we are going to stand united until the end. Whips the Bible out. They all pledge to the Bible with Seth Rollins' face on it. And vow that the Messiah will keep his gold till tonight. 74? That's also much better than I expected, especially because I had to keep Kofi strong. Because in a 16 minutes and 42 seconds, we have new Raw Tag Team Champions. Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott defeat Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston of the New Day in 16:42, when Isaiah Swerve Scott pins Kofi with his handspring back elbow to win the Vega Mafia, the Raw Tag Team Championships. Kofi gets a 79, a 70 for Woods, a 61 for Swerve, and a 56 for Escobar. Not too shabby at all. This pay-per-view's been really good so far. Will that momentum be kept up? For the road agent notes I had to put in, and the level of one of the competitors, I'll take a 67 here. Toni Storm and Charlotte Flair, they have their rematch after Toni Storm flukily beat Charlotte in the gauntlet. And she beats her again here, this time clean, as a sheet, 1-2-3 in the ring with a strong 0. Toni gets a 42 and a 79 for Charlotte Flair. The match gets a 67 overall. And Toni Storm with an emphatic win. A biggest win of her career here on pay-per-view here tonight. And what could be a bright 2021 for the young Aussie. Or New Zealander, whoever she is. We then get like a WWE Network ad. Like one of those brief ones that lasts 30 seconds in real life to transition from scene to scene. And then when it ends, Charlotte's storming through the hallway pissed off. And Charlie's like, she's like, Charlotte, a lot of emotions tonight. You just lost to Toni Storm. How are you feeling now? She's like, no, I don't lose. I'm the queen. That rookie, she got lucky once. Tonight she may have beat me here, but no, I am the queen. I still run this yard. No one's going to remember this. Because Toni Storm, this will be a blip on my radar. Because this time next month, nobody will care that I got beat by Toni Storm, because I am the figurehead of this division. And as the figurehead of this division, I need to make it known right now that I will be the first woman to declare entry into the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble match. And when I win that for the second year in a row, nobody's going to remember the name Toni Storm. They're only going to be talking about how I'm the queen and I'm still on top of this division. Woo. And she walks off. And Charlie, she sort of lets that settle in, but then she hears a commotion behind her from one of the doors in the locker room. It's just like random shouting and thumping against the wall. And she sort of cautiously approaches the door, but then by the time she gets near the door, it flies open and Cameron Grimes flies out like he's been shoved out. Like, Cameron Grimes, god damn it, man. Charlie, don't go in there. I thought I could do it, but Lars is taking him on. Charlie's like, what's Lars doing? And then another couple of seconds go past and we see Lars Sullivan shoved out the door as well onto his ass. And then Charlie gets concerned. She looks into the door and Oney's there. 24/7 towels on the floor. And he's like fucking dusting up his hands. He set up a backstage fight club where anyone can take the 24/7 towel off his hands if they want a piece of him. And he just shoved Cameron Grimes and Lars Sullivan out the door. And if anyone wants to come here and get their ass kicked, then they're more than welcome to. And throw them up, etc. Because Oney's going to be a fighting 24/7 champion. He's going to have a 24/7 open fight club backstage, as long as he holds the gold. And yeah, Oney coming to kick ass. And what a 2021 it will be for this man. First disappointing match of the night. 74, Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe's brawl. And Kevin Owens beats him in 14:23 for pop-up powerbomb. 75 for Joe and a 80 for Kevin Owens. But I expected better from these two. I think it's because Joe's quite heavily on time decline, so he may make it through the whole year as a wrestler, but like, yeah, if he's not doing so good on terms of time decline, and he'll probably end up back on commentary at some point, because as more people get over and more people get called up, I fucking love Joe. He deserves a world title run, but not in the state that he's in this game, I'm afraid, right now. So he does the job here. good, like a good little boy. Bleh, whatever. I didn't expect this to do a good rating at all. I probably should have just put it in as an angle, to be fair, but no, it is a match in the game. The most intriguing match on the whole show, John Cena versus R-Truth. And John Cena comes out first. No, R-Truth comes out first, even. And he brings Carmella with him. And then John Cena comes out. And he's... Oh, you can tell on the look of his face, he's thinking, I don't even want to be here. Why am I wrestling R-Truth on pay-per-view? And it's not even for the championship like it was last time. At least I had the belt then. And the bell rings, and... You can see, like... Cena's sort of mocking him right at the start. He does a lock-up. Then he takes him, does a takedown. And he, like... gets up, and they have a standoff. Cena's clapping him. He's like, good job, kid, good job. And R-Truth, he seems pleased that his hero John Cena is acknowledging his great efforts. And they have a bit of a John Cena. Everything R-Truth tries to do, John Cena has a counter for. And he's like, oh, you slipped, kid. When he charges at him, and then Cena's shoulder barges him, and he falls on the floor. He's like, oh, well, I'll give you one more chance to try and take John Cena down. And Truth runs at him. He hits the lie detector. And he goes for the pin. He gets a 1 count. And John Cena kicks out. It's like, you gotta do better than that, Truth. Sorry, come on. One more shot. And he rolls John Cena up again, just like he did in the match on Raw. And he gets the closest 2 count you've ever seen in your life. 1, 2. Cena has to grab the ropes to break up the pin because Truth had him beat. And then after Truth could see his face changes, he's all sort of surprised. He thought he had his hero beat. And so someone else's expression changed. John Cena's expression completely changes. Because he doesn't want to lose this match again. And then when R-Truth turns around, Cena socks him with the stiffest right hand you've ever seen John Cena throw. And he just continues to wail on R-Truth. He picks him up, gives him an AA. He has the match won. He does the 1, 2, and he lifts his shoulder off the mat. He picks him up for a second AA. He hits him another 1, 1, 2, lifts the shoulder off the mat. And then he, like, dusts his knuckles off, does a couple of punches to R-Truth's face. Carmella's screaming at ringside saying, no, leave him alone, leave him alone, leave him alone. Another AA, and then he rolls through, hits a second AA. That's 4 AAs in total. 1, 2, lifts his head up again, he says no, spins him over, STF, and he's unconscious. R-Truth doesn't tap out, but he's just out cold. And they call it a submission victory to John Cena in 4 minutes and 44 seconds. And he doesn't even celebrate properly. He gets up and he just looks in disgust down at R-Truth. Because John Cena's finally avenged that embarrassing loss. And he goes outside, he's not finished. He grabs a steel chair and he wails into the back of R-Truth. He continues to just lay into R-Truth. R-Truth just completely out cold. And Carmella runs in, she like protects him. She gets it over to Truth, says, stop, John, stop. You've made your point, just stop. And then obviously Cena doesn't want to hit Carmella with the chair. But he just stares at her with an angry look. And she looks up at her, she looks all confused at John Cena. And then Cena picks Carmella up onto his shoulders. Big AA. He AA's a woman. John Cena would never do this. He's Mr. Hustle or Ian Respect. And then he goes to ringside, he sees a kid in the front row who looks heartbroken at John Cena's actions. And then he takes his armband off, he puts the armband over his head, he says, I'm sorry, kid. I had to do it. And he rubs his little head. His expression changes, his theme song starts blaring out. Do, 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 do. He tries to shake hands, he shakes hands with all the kids on his way back up to the ramp. Backstage, but nobody's being fooled anymore. They've seen what an asshole this man has become. 73. That's much better than I was expecting. 17 minutes and 20 seconds this match goes. The longest match of Liv Morgan's life. And Io wins the Raw Women's title in 17:20 with a moonsault. And Io gets a 73, Liv gets a 58. Liv's reign was fun. Even if Taylor forced me to do it because he's a simp. But it was time to end it, I feel. Not because I wasn't enjoying it as the champion, but look at this. Io Shirai 73, Liv 58. Liv's one of those people in this game that, like, I obviously I'm not saying, like, now, like, her push is dead, I'm never going to push Liv again. Obviously, I'm going to continue to try and do what I can with her, but she's one of these people in this game that, like, this seems to be her sort of limit. Like, she won the title and she's been the champion since August, winning most of the time she's on TV. But 58, she just can't seem to break into, like, the 60 level. She's that sort of wrestler on this game that can't really get, at least not right away. You have to really put your effort in, and, like, she's still young, so maybe she'll get there at some point. Because, like I said, I don't plan on just burying her, because obviously she was the face of my women's division for 4 months. But it was time for a change. EO2 belts. She holds both her belts up high. I am absolutely, in real life, sick to death of the 2 belts bollocks. Because they beat it to fucking death this year. Because it was Bayley had 2 belts, Sasha had 2 belts, Asuka now has 2 belts, Keith Lee had 2 belts, somebody else has had 2 belts recently. Becky had 2 belts, obviously. Seth once had 2 belts when he was the tag champion and the Universal Champion. It's just enough with the 2 belts bullshit. But this has been the first time since the start of the save, so we haven't had any of the Becky, Sasha, Asuka 2 belts bullshit in this game. So it would still be kind of nice and cool to see EO with 2 belts. Plus, she's just the best woman on Raw, so she deserves to have both belts. 81. Purge rules. Aleister Black versus Drew McIntyre. 2 psychopaths going at it. Apparently there's a lack of psychology in this match. Go 17-37, Aleister Black wins. It says with a handful of tights, but just generic Purge-related shenanigans. Dexter Lumis, Killian Dane, all of them coming in. Susie distracting Drew with the little finger cross. And then a black mass. And the man who retired, The Undertaker, gets another big dub here on pay-per-view over a former WWE champion. Drew gets a 91 and an 85 for Aleister. It was a psychology note, and I also kept Drew strong. So that's why it didn't do as well as I thought it would. Because that rating, I'm hoping, you gotta be kidding me, right? 82, which I guess is a fair match rating, but Seth Rollins got an 88, Randy Orton got a 90, and apparently with those 2 names I just listed there were times where there was a definite lack of psychology on display, and the match had a tendency to drift a little. Seth Rollins and Randy Orton couldn't go 26 minutes without it becoming a clustered mess, apparently. But this is the big main event. I'm sure the show will still be good. It's fine. And yeah, I could have said it goes 25-49. Murphy comes out with Seth to ensure that Randy Orton will not ruin the greater good. And you've seen these 2 wrestle a fair bit, so you kind of get a good hunch of how the match is going to look. And at one point, Randy hits Seth with an RKO, and Seth's done. But Buddy Murphy puts his foot on the ropes, and the count is broken. And Orton's like, bitch, but it was that fucker on the outside, he put it on there. And then Orton goes to the outside, he drops Buddy Murphy with some sort of move. I don't know if he would actually RKO him, or he'd probably do that backdrop he did onto the announce table and onto one of the Singh brothers when he nearly killed them that one time. to take Buddy out for a bit. And then the match continues as it is. And then he does the draping DDT to Seth, and he gets in corner. He's calling for another RKO. And Buddy Murphy grabs his leg, and Orton's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And then Seth comes flying in with like some sort of kick, some super kick or whatever, and takes Orton down. The referee takes a bump, and he's down. So Murphy goes, get in the ring, buddy. Murphy gets into the ring, and he holds Randy Orton in place. And he gives into Seth Rollins, and he's like, we're going to finish him right now for good. Kicks him in the gut, gives him a curb stomp. And he's like, get him up, finish him off, buddy. And he's like, did I not just do that? And then Seth's like, no, I'm going to pick him up, you're going to knee him in the head, and then we're going to give him another curb stomp. We've got to put this fucker down once and for all, okay? After everything he's done to us, we can't let that be the end of him. We need to give him more punishment to him. The referee's down, he's not going to see us. So his buddy's like, okay. So Seth holds him in place. Buddy runs at him and goes to do the knee. But Orton ducks out of the way. Big knee to Seth Rollins. And Buddy's like, he looks at him, he's like, oh shit, I've just hit the Messiah in the head with my knee. But wait, where the fuck did that snake go? Turns around, boom, RKO, Buddy Murphy's out. So that's him eliminated from the equation. Match continues as it is. No more Murphy. And Seth, he goes for a curb stomp. And we're not going to recreate the actual spot, because that would just be too OTT of me. I've already had Goldberg get brought up for a jackhammer and fall onto him for that pin. That was as crazy as I'm going to get. I'm not going to do the RKO spot again. But it would just be Seth would jump for the curb stomp and all but RKO him out of midair in that position. And he gets the 1, 2, 3. And we have a new WWE Champion. And his name, Randall Keefe. He gets a 90, Seth gets an 88. Ignore the punt, that doesn't happen. And we end 2020. Randall Keefe has his, was it 14th? The one he won in real life off Drew? Whatever number that was. 14th World Championship reign. And the Viper will carry the WWE Championship gold into 2021. 82 show. Very good rating for the show, actually. And I got a bit disappointed by the fact that the match didn't go as good as I planned it to. But we had two 82s, an 81, 74, 75, yeah, pretty good. 73, everything over-delivered apart from... I don't even want to say I was disappointed with Owens and Joe, but just what I was expecting from those two. And the main event, I wanted to probably do a little bit better. But Otis and Gargano over-delivered, Io and Liv over-delivered, the tag title match over-delivered, Cedric and Ricochet over-delivered. And, in case you haven't noticed, every single championship on Raw has now changed hands. So it really will be a new year and a new era of Monday Night Raw on episode 9. I don't know if it will be episode 90, because I might do a end of year review episode, which might be episode 90. But the next episode of Monday Night Raw will truly be a new era for Raw. But before we get there, SmackDown have one last show left to do of the year. That's Christmas Chaos. That's episode 89. I'll see you then.